There are continuous reports that Russia is preparing for mobilization. As the initiative in the war is shifting to Ukraine, there are talks that Russia might use the mobilization card to overcome the current situation. Let's take a closer look at this issue today. Let's get right into it. The Center for Countering Disinformation under the National Security and Defense Council of Ukraine stated that the Russian military command plans to use mobilized troops to solve the current manpower shortage and set new operational directions. It also mentioned that Russia is preparing to mobilize 500,000 people for the fall. Some of them are expected to be deployed to combat within the first 2 weeks to fill gaps on the Eastern Front, while the rest will undergo at least a month of training in preparation for the possibility of new fronts opening. This is reportedly the plan of the Russian Federation. The Ukrainian military believes that a large-scale mobilization by the Russian army and the opening of new fronts are imminent, so they are reinforcing the northern and northeastern fronts of Ukraine. In fact, up until now, Russia has not officially declared a large-scale mobilization again. The main reason was internal public opinion. During the previous partial mobilization, many young Russians fled abroad and chaos continued throughout the country. The Russian government was well aware of these after effects, so they felt considerable pressure about choosing the same approach again. Instead of openly enforcing compulsory mobilization, they have secured troops by significantly increasing recruitment bonuses for contract soldiers or assigning recruitment quotas to local governments. They have also used methods such as increasing the number of conscripts who wish to convert to contract soldiers and gradually supplementing the reserves. In this way, they have maintained a strategy to secure the necessary manpower while minimizing social shock as much as possible. However, now the environment of the war itself has changed significantly compared to back then, as the Ukrainian military has greatly expanded its use of long-range drones and various unmanned assets. Attacks on Russia's rear areas and supply lines are increasing. There is also analysis that not only the front lines, but also rear bases, logistics facilities, and fuel storage facilities are being hit, resulting in simultaneous losses of both personnel and equipment. In this situation, there are growing assessments that it has become difficult to maintain existing forces with only newly recruited troops. In particular, some military experts believe that the losses from combat and various attacks are now exceeding the number of new recruits. If this continues, there is a high possibility that manpower gaps will appear across the front lines, and it may become difficult to carry out planned offensives properly. The United States has already assessed that Ukraine has taken the initiative on the battlefield. As a result, Russia is finding it increasingly burdensome to continue a prolonged war with its current forces. That's why there are now reports that Russia is considering an additional mobilization of up to 500,000 troops to address these issues. Meanwhile, the Ukrainian military has been continuously expanding its long-range strike capabilities using drones. Previously, attacks mainly focused on military targets like bases, transport hubs, and ammo depots, but now strikes are also hitting Russia's logistics network. The latest attack targeted a major logistics warehouse owned by Wildberries, Russia's largest online retailer. A total of 2 locations were attacked: the Kotovsk facility in Tambov Oblast, about 360 kilometers from the Ukrainian border, and the Elektrostyle logistics facility, located about 50 kilometers east of Moscow. At least 8 people were killed and more than 80 injured in this attack. Ukraine has stated that this attack was not a random strike on civilian facilities. President Zelensky claimed that the logistics warehouse was being used for the storage and distribution of sanctioned parts needed for the production of drones and navigation equipment, thereby supporting Russia's war effort. He also emphasized that this airstrike was a response to Russia's repeated attacks on Ukrainian cities and civilian infrastructure. There are major differences between Russia and Ukraine on these claims. Russia says the attack targeted civilian facilities, while Ukraine says it hit a logistics hub used for military purposes. The most notable aspect of this attack is that the target's nature has clearly changed from previous incidents. Wildberries operates large logistics centers and a delivery network throughout Russia, serving as a top e-commerce platform for millions. If these sites are attacked, issues like delivery disruptions and supply chain instability are likely directly affecting citizens. Western analysts say Ukraine may be targeting logistics networks, not just military sites, to weaken Russia's overall war capability. This could mean the aim is not just to target frontline troops, but also to undermine the entire support system for the war effort. In particular, the fact that companies frequently used by Russian citizens in their daily lives have started to become targets of attacks is being seen as a change that shows the impact of the war is likely to spread beyond the military sphere to society and the economy as a whole. Nevertheless, Russia continues its efforts to carry on the war. Dmitry Peskov, the Kremlin spokesperson, said in a regular briefing that Russia maintains its stance of resolving the war in Ukraine through negotiations, but at present there is no prospect for talks to be held soon. At the same time, spokesperson Peskov claimed that although the Russian economy has been facing various difficulties recently, it is not at a serious crisis level. This shows that they are continuing the war because the country's current situation is manageable. However, there are growing assessments that the reality faced by the Russian military is becoming increasingly difficult. The Wall Street Journal analyzed that Ukraine's long-range drone attacks are shaking the very way Russia conducts the war. Russia had gone into the war believing that time would be on its side if the conflict dragged on. But recently, there have been continued indications that this strategy is faltering. This is because the Ukrainian military is not just confronting Russian forces at the front, but is also continuously attacking Russia's supply lines, facilities, and energy infrastructure in the rear, expanding the burden of war to the rear areas. If the process of sending troops and ammunition to the front lines is constantly disrupted, it inevitably causes problems in maintaining the supplies necessary for offensive operations. In fact, although the Russian military is still making some advances in certain areas, many assessments say that the pace of their advance has noticeably slowed compared to the early stages of the war or last year. There is also analysis that their tactics are shifting from pressuring wide areas all at once to concentrating forces in specific regions. On the other hand, despite facing difficulties due to a shortage of troops, the Ukrainian military is actively utilizing long-range drones to strike oil refineries, fuel storage facilities, military supply depots, and logistical support facilities in Crimea, which is occupied by Russia, as well as on Russian territory. Their strategy is not only to confront Russian forces directly on the front lines, but also to put pressure on the rear systems that keep the Russian military moving. There are concerns in Russia about these changes. Ruslan Pukov, the director of the Moscow think tank Center for Analysis of Strategies and Technologies, assessed that Russia's strategic position has worsened over the past year compared to before. He pointed out that the advance of ground forces has slowed down, Ukraine's counterattack capabilities have strengthened, and even within the Russian military, fatigue from the prolonged war is becoming apparent. In addition, the fact that European Union countries and other pro-Western nations are continuing to expand their support for Ukraine is also a significant burden for Russia. This is because the more meaningful achievements Ukraine makes on the battlefield, the more likely the West is to believe that their support is actually translating into increased military power, with not only military equipment and ammunition, but also drones, air defense systems, and various defense industry cooperation being provided. Russia is in a position where it has to watch as the enemy's war capabilities continue to strengthen over time. If the burden on troops at the front increases and external support continues to grow, the pressure felt by Russia will inevitably become even greater. What would happen if Russia announced a mobilization order to address this crisis? If Russia announces a large-scale mobilization, significant changes may occur both at the front lines and within Russia. Young people of military age would be affected first. During the last partial mobilization, many rushed to borders and airports, trying to leave for neighboring countries to avoid conscription. It's hard to rule out a similar pattern emerging again. If young workers leave, companies will struggle more to find employees, and labor-intensive industries like manufacturing, construction, and transportation may face increased operational challenges. In many regions outside the capital region, where labor is harder to secure, staffing gaps at industrial sites could be even more severe. For companies, if skilled workers move to the military, they may have to adjust their production plans or increase recruitment costs. The social atmosphere could also change compared to before, because if this becomes not just an issue for some soldiers in the war, but starts to affect ordinary households, anxiety is likely to increase. The Russian government is also likely to be wary of this atmosphere spreading. Therefore, there are expectations that they may become even more proactive in managing war-related information, controlling the media, and monitoring online public opinion and related matters. Russia has already imposed strict penalties for spreading war-related disinformation or criticizing the military, and if large-scale mobilization occurs, the government's efforts to control social unrest could intensify. However, they can't fully stop public sentiment from being shaken. The more they suppress it, the angrier people become. Ultimately, President Putin recklessly started a war and now faces the worst-case scenario of losing something even greater.